It feels, by now I feel attached to the film because I was at all the festivals where you've been. So I was in Venice, and I was in San Sebastian, Warsaw, and I know that I had my colleagues, my friends in Marrakesh, and I know the film was also there.
Yeah.
Just a few days ago. So that you must be at this point. You must be exhausted by the tour.
Yeah.
For me, this is one of the best films of the year, and I wanted to rewatch it again last night because just to refresh it, but also to explore it further. And in watching it a second time, I think what struck me the most was the music, and so I wanted to ask you more about this aspect, how you got into it, what you wanted, because I know that you've said in the past you've credited the two composers as Snowdrops for their incredible work, but so the music came after the film, or you were already shooting the film? And what did you ask of them? What sort of indication did you give them? And what was your idea before, while you were writing or while you were shooting? Like, how did you envision the sound and music aspects?
Yes, I have to say, it's kind of, in general, in Thai cinema, we really love like a very quiet scene, quiet cinema. And the music is kind of very new to me. Yeah, especially in this film, I didn't expect any music before. Even when we finished the kind of before final cut, I can say that is maybe partly is the final cut, but there is no music reference in that cutting at all. And after that, I know I have to work with the Snowdrop, the French composers, and we sent the cutting without any music reference to them, and I just asked them which part of the movie we should hear the music. Yeah, and then I got a lot of music in my film, a lot of scene that with music in the film, and to me I just delete some. I just asked to remove some music out because sometimes it's too much.
They gave you too much?
I don't know too much or not. This depends on the people taste. But to me, I feel some part is too much. But all the music that they gave is very incredible. It's very great.
So music. You didn't even know exactly which scenes or sequences would have music or not. You just offered to them, and they
exactly.
It's very interesting because in the film the music sort of comes in and comes out, and it's in a way it's always there, and it's very organically linked to the scenes.
Yes. But I put some sound design before. It's like in the forest we could hear the electricity sound noise. Yes, that I put before with some sound effect. Yes. Okay. Yeah, but the music is come later.
Okay. And another thing that jumps to mind when I was watching the film again is this emphasis on bodies, like the human body, and not just in the forest when there are actual bodies coming from the ground, but even in the more in the part of the narrative that is about these two characters. There's a lot of dealing with bodies that come back to life, and they get up, and there's a healing. There are a lot of scars. Tell me about that part of how do you see that, and if you work on that image, the sort of theme of
I didn't think about that before, but when you asked me, I don't know. It was a bit the kind of foundation of the human relationship. Maybe the first is the kind of touching the body. That's why I create the kind of in the beginning of the film, that they healing the fisherman heal the stranger. Maybe yes, kind of. But I didn't think that before. But when you asked me, yes.
Because I'm curious, because I know that you consider yourself primarily a visual artist, and you come from a background of cinematography. So when you were working on this film, how was the part of the writing, and how much of that was on paper, and how much of that was just visuals?
As you may know, that the script is really thin. It's like 30 pages. But what the challenge to me is, I have another kind of fantasy world that I create in my mind in the forest. But you know how to connect that to the reality. Reality means the script. That is kind of experiment, some scene that never happened in the script before, that try to connect it together. That is kind of, I don't know, is work for me. I was asked just a few minutes ago by one press that, for instance, that I can think now is like when the scene of dancing scene, you know, right? And we have the reality of the house of the two guys. We have the light that may be from the forest, but that is a Christmas light in the room also. Yes, and then we put all things together and make them dance. And I could get the result of that kind of fantasy, surrealist feel in that scene. I don't know why it's happened, but it's happened later after we done it in editing.
Okay, because for example, that scene is in many ways it's the heart of the film. It's where everything really you can feel it pulsating almost. So that came down to when you were there and you were shooting it, or was that something that you had already in your mind when you were preparing the film?
Not preparing. I think the day before shooting, because I know the next scene I can shoot in that house. I have two guys, and I have the Christmas light. Let's play together.
I mean, it is kind of incredible because they all feel. These images are so. There's a weight to them that they feel they come from afar. It doesn't feel like a film that's being put together on the fly or casually or in an impressionistic way. It feels very well thought out, and there are a number of other very small moments that I really thought were fantastic. When the woman is trying on the bra, and it's just a single shot. It's just a single detail shot on her, but there's a delicacy there that I thought it's just fantastic. And so all of that came from the moment too. It was not a study that you made.
Yes, but you know, the original idea is like I want the stranger Tocci. I want to kind of get closer to the female Chaiyon, and I don't know how can I approach that feeling. Yes, okay, just peeking when she changed the bra, maybe just. The audience could get some feeling that they're getting closer.
I know that you had a short earlier, Ferris wheel, that is somehow connected to the film. Can you tell me how that project sort of came to be reworked into Manta Ray?
The Manta Ray project, initial of the project title was Departure Day. That is, I can say, is combined Ferris wheel and Manta Ray. That is the departure day. I got the one funding in 2015 to make a short film, and the time I was busy, and I just take some of my script in the departure day project to make a short film. That was the Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel story of the two, one mother and one kid, one boy. Her son is across the small river. It's a borderline between Thailand and Myanmar, and finding a job in my country. That is kind of story. But I put some kind of fantasy scene at the end that everyone sitting in the Ferris wheel and play on the Ferris wheel. But I could. And you know, when I say I want to make the surrealistic film, but I couldn't write a script, but it happened after I done it. In the first view, I try to experiment that in the last scene, and it works also. and I can get some kind of what I learned from that short film and apply to Mandarin.
Right.
Yes.
Did you envision this relationship between these two men? There's a very strong sense of romanticism there between them.
You mean the bisexual?
Yeah, like there's a very poignant just sense of almost like a love story between the two men, and it comes across, I think, very in a film that is already dealing with so much, because there's a woman in the picture, there's the identity swap, and then there's the larger political context. But just in those scenes when they're together, and it's very sweet. Did you focus on that dimension, that romantic aspect between the two of them?
You know, this is very challenging because another Thai producer, not me, asked me, "You're going to make a homosexual film?" But I don't know. I refuse that. I believe this is a relationship between friends.
Okay.
It's not. But I didn't focus on the kind of men lover.
You're coming, like when you were doing cinematography work, you always thought about directing, I imagine. How did that come about? You were waiting for the right project to develop, or was an urgency to tell this story?
You know, I want to be the filmmaker, and I want to be the director or the cinematographer at almost the same time back in 10 years ago. Yes, but I have a chance to work as a cinematographer first. While I work as a cinematographer, I can say to you, I cannot direct other film. I cannot direct other film except my personal film. If you pass me the script, okay, Phuttiphong, you direct it for me. I cannot. I don't know why I cannot direct all the thing from the script.
Right.
Yeah.
So the project needs to be yours, developed by you.
Yes. But maybe I can direct, but it's going to be a really garbage film. I'm sure.
But it's interesting because you said it yourself. The script, when you wrote the script, was very light. So like the ownership that you feel on your material is also not on paper. It's something that it's basically in your eyes, maybe in your eyes already. Because
I think I got this because of the working experience as a cinematographer. Because I have to kind of, when we on set, we got a lot of problem in front of me while we work as a cinematographer, and I have to solve that a little bit by bit. And once I became the director, I know that the possibility on the set more. I cannot say more than other, but yes, I get kind of more experience on set that I can control the timing, the budget, or what we have in front of me, and create some kind of easy but work like that.
Was it hard to stay out of the way of your DP, or did you want to be involved in that?
I want to work both. I mean, DP is kind of very fun job too. Yes, and
But I wonder how he felt on this job with you.
You mean my DP, right?
Yeah, now.
He was my assistant before.
Okay.
We worked like 7 years together, and this time I got a chance to work as the first film, and he got a chance to work as the first DP as well. Yes, and now he got another job already. He became real DOP, and now I have no job.
Because the cinematography was really fantastic, and knowing your background, it's easy to imagine that you maybe kept a special eye on that personally, and but it's also just interesting the dynamic personally between you and someone you work with that has to take over for that. And last thing, can you tell me about how did you choose the main actor for the role of this refugee who doesn't speak, is deprived of a voice, and it represents an entire people, so there's a lot going on in that performance. Can you tell me how? I think it was crucial to choose the right face and the right personality.
Yeah, in the first, I want to get the kind of real refugee to play, but it's kind of very illegal to let the migrant to work in the film production, and we open call for the audition, and many people came. But the guy that I showed, that he came from the southern part of Thailand, where we have a conflict between Thai government to the kind of local, and also the conflict of the Muslim and Buddhism there. And the guy, he was born there, but he lived in Bangkok for more than 10 years. But he told me that he felt that he's still stranger of this place. He is still considered as an outsider of the people in Bangkok. When the people know that he from that place, they have the kind of strange attitude toward him like that. Yes, and I feel that is kind of alienation, this kind of feeling of the refugee that we had. I mean the city people had.
At the very end, did you always mean to close on the manta ray, or you put that after? Because I heard that originally you just wanted to leave it with him, but then there's a coda, the film with the manta ray.
Well,
because there's an ambivalence there in the way that you use this symbol, and I know the story of how you came to be inspired by that.
Yes. My French producer really loved the end without the manta ray, and I don't know that I had the footage of manta ray. We tried in the editing process that it's work or not, and I didn't consider only myself to say put this. I just let the producers in with me and just ask we should put or not the manta ray. And yes, we are kind of democratic and just say it's okay, let's put the manta ray at the end. Sometimes it's referred to the title of the film. Yeah. But in the original idea, maybe no manta ray.